I've always fantasized about telling a story like this. I didn't know that it'd be this personal and autobiographical. It kind of evolved that way.
Rudy, are you even listening to me? Hello?
Hola mis amigos, soy Melissa Ramiz y hoy me encuentro con mis amigos de la película Música, Rudy Mancuso, Camila Mendes, ¿cómo están?
Bien, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Great.
I saw the film and I loved it.
Good.
It was so much fun, entertaining. I didn't want it to end. Talk to me about this concept because it was so original, something so different. Talk to me about that.
I've always fantasized about telling a story like this. I didn't know that it'd be this personal and autobiographical. It kind of evolved that way. But I always wanted to attempt to the best of my ability in redefining the musical genre and do kind of like an anti-conventional musical where synesthesia was a character, where Brazilian culture was a character, and in this film I got to do both.
It was amazing. I felt like I was watching a Broadway play at times, and then I saw the beauty of the culture, of this Brazilian culture that reminded me a lot of home as well, like the mom asking questions all the time. You had your family there yesterday.
Yeah.
How was that? How was enjoying that film with your family?
It was amazing. I mean, I've shown them the cut a few times. When I flew to Brazil recently, I showed it to my family there, and they were all really excited. But there's something about being in my hometown in a theater that I grew up going to, with my family lined up in the row. That was just like this full circle moment, and I could just feel their pride, and there was just so much love in the air. It was beautiful.
And now the chemistry, obviously, on screen is undeniable. Was there a moment before this, because now we know you're a couple, was there a moment when you started filming that you said, he's the one or she's the one?
I mean, we've talked about this many times, but almost immediately there was a connection.
Yeah.
Really?
Before we even physically met, just over Zoom.
Yeah,
and
over Zoom,
on phone calls.
Could feel it.
we felt. I felt this
I did
this
too.
familiarity and this chemistry. It was very easy and it was very natural.
Yeah.
But you never quite know. And then we met in person and it just doubled.
It clicked.
I know, but you had to work with his mom as well. How was
Yeah.
that, getting to know a mom
don't
at La
remind me.
Suegra on
It was
set?
the
That's-
best because
Yeah?
we quickly bonded, and I feel like she's the same that she is in the movie in many ways. So she was like, I think, really excited about the idea of redating a Brazilian.
Quite literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Very excited about that. Now, how real was your mom in this? Like, did she want you to date a Brazilian woman? Is that
Yep.
something to keep with the culture? Because, I mean, Cubans have that same ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, my mother had a bit of a complex when we were growing up because she felt like such an outsider. She moved from Brazil, and when I was growing up, she didn't speak much English at all. And she was disrespected a lot in neighboring towns. That's why we spent so much time in the Ironbound, in this tight-knit neighborhood that was mostly Brazilians and Portuguese. In Newark, we're almost confined within the boundaries of the Ironbound because it's where she felt safe, even though, ironically, it's not the safest area in the world. But culturally, she felt seen
welcome.
and safe and welcome. And as soon as she went a little bit outside there, to like Montclair, Glen Ridge, that would change. And because of that, she imparted to me this idea of keep it within the culture. We have to protect one another. We have to keep it close. Everyone else doesn't welcome us, which is not true, but that had an effect on my upbringing.
And you got lucky. You found a good one, you know?
I know.
She just so happens to be Brazilian also, you know?
But it's very true. Everything you saw in the film,
Yeah.
that my mom says and does, that whole dynamic, I don't even know if she knew we were making a movie.
Oh, that's so good. Now, before we go, if there was one song that you can think of that represents your life, or the way you live your life. For me, it's Celia Cruz, La Vida es un Carnaval.
Wow.
So, like, I feel like that, or Hakuna Matata from, The Lion King, but, could go either way. So if you had that one song.
Okay, so there's a song called O Que É, by Gonzaguinha, and the lyrics is like viver e não tenha vergonha de ser feliz, which is just like to live and to not be embarrassed by being happy, or embarrassed of being happy. It's just such a, I think
Beautiful.
It represents this idea of just like, don't be afraid to be happy, just like you can choose happiness and live your life freely. There's just such a beautiful message to that song, and it gets me in a good mood, and I feel like it really reflects my outlook on the world.
It's a beautiful message. Rudy?
I'll probably Let It Go from Frozen. That's about that. That's where I'm at.
Oh, my son's too. Don't worry about it.
All
He's
right.
6. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Just give me a second. What? I'm sorry. Let me just talk.
Rudy, I have to go.
Come on.